My name is Gary Bankston, and I'm a volunteer for the California State Citrus Park. And I'm standing in front of a 200 horsepower engine made in 1926 by Western Machinery in Los Angeles, California. They made 50 of these 200 horse engines, and they were all used in the citrus industry, pumping water. And our citrus industry in Southern California was huge back in the day. Luckily, the park found this engine in Colton. It sat next to two others, one of which was scrapped. The second went to a museum up in Washington, and for 10 years, they looked for somebody who could make the engine run to no satisfaction. Finally, one day, they called a friend of mine, and they knew that we were into antique engines, and asked us to come over and take a look at it and possibly lead them to someone who could make it run. We came over, opened the door, and the engine was complete and intact, which surprised us. We were expecting a pile of parts. So we went to work, and we worked on it. There's 4 of us at work every Wednesday, just about 3 hours a day. And in short order, we had the engine running in probably 4 months, and we ran it off a barbecue bottle the first time, and it was not happy. It was starved for fuel, it was smoking, it was blowing flames out every orifice, but everybody was excited, and that was the beginning of making this thing a working display like we have today. It was built in 1926, and the building that was put around it was built in 2000 just to protect it. The goal was to put the original building back around it. Well, that was too costly, and so what we decided to do is we're going to use the material from the old building and encase this new building in the old building skin, and we're trying to replicate 1926. So visitors, when they walk in this building, they're going to see an actual depiction of a 1926 pumping station made by Western Machinery. We have a water tank over here, and we circulate water through a gooseneck and air gap just like they would have had in the orange groves. It's run by a 18-inch flat belt off a 7-foot flywheel. The engine runs at 200 RPM, the pump runs at 1200 RPM, so you have this huge difference in diameters to get there. This engine originally lifted water from one reservoir to another. Sometimes they would actually run wells and pick it up out of the ground. These engines would run non-stop, generally for 90 days during the peak growing season to move water throughout Riverside, get it in the Gage Canal, and then it'd be shut down. We removed all the covers from the engine so that you could see what happens. There's a lot of motion going on, and they would not have run it this way. They'd have it covered, but because the building is so covered, we elected to do that, and it gives the people that are visiting the engine the real sense of what's happening. A lot of people don't realize what's going on inside an engine. Here, you not only see a lot of the parts, you see parts you would never see. The pistons actually come not completely out, but they come out of the bore as they go back in. And the pistons are as big as trash cans. They're 17 inches in diameter, so it's really impressive. I'm hoping that this becomes a big part of the park and people get to see this for another 100 years.